It's very much like it with that.
Hey, the popcorn's starting.
Is it?
No kidding, see?
Coming.
It's making, look at that.
That one's mine, remember?
See, some of it did pop out under the coals, like I said. Just clear
Over
out.
here, Mike, I brought along. I thought when you go down to the stream to wash your face and shave, I have
Oh, here, I'll take it.
an apron that's made especially for you, Mike. Now, lift
This
up the...
thing's loaded. What's it got in it?
When you get through
What's
washing
the
your
shape?
face,
There's a razor in there, too.
Oh, there's a razor here. Look at this.
there's your razor and your toothpaste. We have your toothbrush, we have your comb.
Let me see, is that my brand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our car's popping.
The
Now-
watch, huh?
We need to get you all set for this modern shower we have over here.
Oh. I'll put this over my head?
Yeah, why don't you all come over? We're going to get Mike to take off his shoes. You take off your shoes over here. David, do you want to come and pump this up? You need
Take
to
my
take
shoes
off
off.
and now what I have here is just this is a insecticide can. You know, it usually has the wand.
Yes.
You go around and spray your thing. Y'all
There's
ready
water
for this?
in that?
Yeah.
What you have here is a
Then I
dumbbell.
went and I got
That's what you have here, not that.
I got a handheld shower.
That's right. And
I went to the plumber and I said, make this fit. So he just made it fit like this.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready?
Will you see this fit?
You ready for more?
Just a minute. So it's not a total loss.
Be right back. You need to spend a lot of money for equipment, as you'll see in just a minute. Let me show you how to start. I want you to start a fire here, Johnny. Come here.
All right.
You have to
Remember the
hold
night we
these
had the Boy
batteries.
Scout on and we had the axe and the flint? It was murder.
You have to hold the batteries together just like they go in a flashlight.
In other words, if you took 2 flashlight batteries,
Right?
right? You had those with you.
Right.
That's steel wool, obviously.
This is a fine grade of steel wool.
Right. Now, what are we going to do?
Okay, now you need to place those
Make the
together.
contact?
Yeah. And then, why don't I hold them? You make the contact, and then I want you to start that the paper there. Put it down there and just start blowing.
Oh, I
okay,
see.
touch right here. Touch this end right here.
Touch this right
You
here.
need to get pretty close. Oh, there you go. See? Blow. Keep blowing. You have to keep blowing. More, more, more. There. There you go. Very good.
How about that?
That's great.
Of course, you have to have the batteries with you and the steel wool,
Right.
or else you're in trouble. Okay.
Then I usually just take, what I want you to do now is to take this little paper and light this burner. What this is, Johnny, is a cardboard burner. It's made with rolled up cardboard. Okay, hold that right here at the bottom of this.
Right.
We'll light
Right
that.
like this?
Yeah.
You got cardboard in an
This is,
old tuna can, right?
Right, and there's wax melted into it.
Excuse me, I don't think I've got enough.
you're doing okay. It's coming. There we go. Now, the unique thing about this is the cardboard does not burn out of it, so you just keep putting chunks of wax on there, and it'll burn indefinitely.
Really?
Just put chunks of wax up there, and it burns down.
This is old paraffin, you mean?
Right.
And that's just
then,
rolled up cardboard.
Uh-huh. With paraffin wax on top of it.
Now, that makes a small cooker.
Now, to regulate it, I'm going to put underneath the tin can here, but I want to show you how to regulate this. This is the lid from the tuna fish can.
Right.
You put it over there. There's low, medium, and high, so you can completely regulate your heat with this.
All right.
So let's put it underneath the can. I want you to turn that down to medium. That's halfway across.
It's a gallon coffee can, right?
Yeah, just place that.
And we put that on medium.
Right. Let me just set this right here so you'll be able to see it. There you go. Okay, we got on medium now. Over here, I have another one burning, and
Now, does this become...
yeah, that'll become really hot. Maybe I'll turn that up just a little bit now that we've showed you how to set that. Okay. Now, over here, I have another one burning, and I've placed water in this paper cup to
Right.
boil. So why don't you just put that over on top of that one?
Put this
and let it
on
boil.
top of what?
Yeah, hold it on the top, right on top
Well,
of
won't
this.
it burn the paper cup on it?
Oh, no, no. The water inside of it keeps the paper below its combustion point, so it doesn't
Oh.
light.
And you can
There we
boil
go.
water that way?
Right in the paper cup. And the water inside will keep it below its combustion point.
In other words, that won't burn through the cup?
No, it'll be boiling in just a minute, so you can have the hot water.
All right.
And I thought a fun thing to do today would be show you how we cook breakfast in a paper bag. So I put the paper bag on top of the can. And I want you to put some bacon inside of that. Just
raw
put
bacon.
those strips across. You have to put them strips. They have to be in strips across the bottom of the bag.
It's going to be easier just to take a stove with you?
Okay, now that you got that line, now you can either have scrambled eggs or you can have sunny side up. The scrambled are the most fun.
I bet they are.
What you have to do, just knock that against that can, and then when you do scrambled eggs, you have to hold it up really high, and you've got to hit that sack to make them scramble. Marvelous!
Would you send, I said soft, would you send that back with...
Oh, all right.
That's delicious. And it's cooked completely through in about, what, 4 or 5 minutes?
Yeah, right.
That's incredible. We have to take a break? We will take a break and we'll be right back. Stay with us. Here's a word. Full amount of our
Valentine's Day is 1 week away, and we're already here. We're counting the Valentines in our little box up in the office to make sure that we all got one, because that's the big threat, of course, for children at this time of the year. And Dian Thomas is going to be with us to help everyone celebrate Valentine's Day in a kind of a unique fashion, right?
Well, just some fun ways to make simple and easy things that don't cost a lot of money. And first of all, I want to start out with, this is a bamboo stick you get at a Chinese store. And I have a gumdrop on top of that with a cookie that goes on top of that, and then you place another gumdrop here. Then place that into a can. On the bottom of the can, I have a piece of styrofoam glued there, and then just unpop popcorn. You can make your own arrangement, and Tom, if you were delivering that to somebody...
The unpopped popcorn goes down there and it
Yeah,
holds everything
and it
in
holds
place.
everything in place.
And that is not nearly as expensive as a dozen roses.
No, but it's
so
unique.
I'll be putting this off to the side, and I'll be using this for Jane's Valentine's
Oh,
present
okay.
later. All right. So I didn't want to give it away now, but...
If you don't want to go to a made cookie like this,
Yeah.
make your own. And what I did here was just take a cake pan, and this is molded in here, and bake the cookie right inside of here. And then, Tom, if you'll hold that one up, I can just hold this one, and
Well,
we'll
that's
show
a
them what they turn
Willard-sized
out.
cookie
So
if
that
ever
is-
I saw one, huh? 2 of those for lunch.
That's right.
Just to
One
open
bite.
the meal.
You may want to just look around at what you're having around Valentine's Day and make it into a heart shape to make it special. These are just some biscuits, Tom, that I made. They're just heart-shaped cutter. If you don't have one of those and you don't want to spend the money for it, why don't you go ahead and show them
Here's
how.
a regular tin can, right?
And I just crushed this down and made the heart shape out of the can.
Like a tuna can or something like
Yes,
that.
that
No,
is
takes
just a
both
tuna
sides.
fish can.
Right.
You can just cut out your biscuits or whatever you decide to do, and then, very good. Doesn't take long, as you can see.
I've got an occluded artery here on my heart, I think.
It's coming. Another thing you can do, it really works.
Believe me, it works. Hand-eye coordination is important,
That's
however.
right. This is the Jell-O cut out of that, and one that's really good. Sometimes you have to take these to school. I made some heart-shaped Valentines cupcakes, and what we did on
I
that.
thought, living in a family with a lot of kids, I thought this was a whole tray of cupcakes with a bite taken out of each one. That's not the case at all.
What I did was put a marble in between the paper right here. Make sure it's outside the cake part. You put that in, and it makes all of them heart-shaped, and then you can decorate them as we have here.
Okay.
And then over here, Tom, why don't you tell them about that one?
Well, I tell you, it takes a lifetime of special training to work on this
right.
program. Rice Krispies, gooped up with a lot of what? Simple sugar and
Actually, it's a marshmallow cream.
marshmallow cream, and made to look like a large Rice Krispies kiss,
Yes.
as opposed to a chocolate kiss. And you can make it with, whoa, goodness, look at
There
that.
it is. All you need to do is butter the mold here and kind of butter your hands, and then put the hot Rice Krispies right into that and pop them out.
And kids make that kind of candy all
Exactly.
the time anyway. Now
And
they can
so
do
you
it.
just have a great big Rice Krispie kiss. And the nice thing about this is it just takes seconds to do it, and you have many to give away to the children's friends.
Now, here are some homemade Dian Thomas special Valentine's Day with different kinds of candies. I meant to ask you to be mine, right?
Right?
I'm a sucker. I want you for my Valentine. And then you've got a big chunk of my heart.
Right.
Valentine.
And then, do you know what you mean to me for Valentine's? All we did is take a candy bar and make the heart shape out of it. Really simple, and give that away. And then, for the real special one, for that special person, we've made a large Valentine. And then inside of it, I took and baked the cookie over there, and you can see the cookie from the cake pan over there is in here.
See, when I was about 11 years old, if old Sarah Halloran had known about that, she'd have gotten it.
She'd have got it.
I'll tell you, I'm going to work on that one.
And then the last one, why don't you have a special sweetheart dinner with that special person? And I took and made meringue hearts. This is on brown paper, just drew the heart out and made it out of meringue and baked it in the oven. And then when you get ready to serve this, you put your ice cream on there. And do you want to top that off, Tom?
Absolutely. See, Diane lets me do all the tricky and delicate things.
You do such a good job, Tom.
Right.
We'll put another scoop on there, and remember, invite that special person and have a special meal. As you can see, we have it all set up here.
James Beard, eat your heart out.
Right, for that special Valentine's dinner.
Oh, look at that. Isn't
Isn't
that
that
a nice
nice?
little setting? Willard and Jane will be having dinner there right after breakfast this morning. That's very nice. Thank you, Dian Thomas, for being with us.
Thank you, Tom. Hi, I'm Dian Thomas. We're out here in the woods today to show you some unusual ways to cook out with your family that you never thought were possible. Have you ever tried to barbecue your hamburgers with just newspapers? It's great because it only takes a few minutes to cook them from the time you light the fire. The important thing is to go through your newspapers and pick out any colored sections and remove them. This has a toxic substance in it that could be harmful to you. Once your colored paper is gone, then take your whole section of newspaper together, crunch it up, just twist it and place it into your 5-gallon can. You want to do this 4 times so that you have your can 1/4 of the way with newspapers. Now to make your can, this is a 5-gallon can with the top of it cut out and a vent cut here in the side of the can. Once this is all done, all you have to do is wad up 1 sheet of paper, put that on the top, place a cookie cooling rack over that, and we're ready to cook our hamburgers. After you have your newspaper in, we're all ready to start our fire. So we'll take our batteries, line them up together like they go into a flashlight, place a fine grated steel wool on the bottom, brush that across the top, place it in, and that'll start our fire. Any type of food that has fat in it can be cooked on this. Hamburgers are great. We'll take and place one in each corner. The thing that happens here is the flames come up and melt the fat out of the meat, which drips back onto the newspapers and keeps the newspapers going. In fact, it's the only way that you can digest your morning news and eat your dinner at the same time. I want to tell you a real secret for making unbelievably good chili, and that is to use really coarse meat. If you can get your butcher to grind your hamburger through the coarse thing, you're all set. If they don't have one, you can cut up stew meat into really small pieces and then cheat a little bit and put extra hamburger in there. If at least half of it is hamburger,
That makes it
will be
rich
just
and
unbelievable. So when you're out there, you'll have a thick, good, rich, juicy chili. It is really fun. Now, what do you do with the chili to take it out on a picnic?
You need a basket.
Let me show you in this little basket I have here, a fun winter picnic basket. You may want to construct something like this, or you can just take along your backpack, such as this would make a really nice knapsack to put it in. But this has a little bit more flavor and will add a little bit more fun. So the chili goes into the thermos jug. If you want to take a bun here, Jane, I'll get your chili all ready, and there is a surprise in here.
This one has my name on it.
When you lift out one of the strings, we'll come up with a hot dog. So we're going to have chili dog here. Just pull this so we have the dental floss out of that.
You go fishing for it. Look what
And
you...
then I'm going to spoon out, I guess we've got 2 of them on here. We'll spoon on the chili so that when you're out there in the mountains, you've got a chili dog. And this is really, really good.
And you don't even need to bring extra
you go.
dental floss
You're
for
all set.
after meal brushing. That's
right.
wonderful. You're on your own. I'm going to eat
When you
this
get through, you've got it all here. Now, in the next thermos, if you don't want to have chili, you want to go along with something else, I've already opened this one up. And what I have in here is chicken noodle soup. And so you take your soup out and pour it in here. But there's also a meaty surprise waiting for you. Go ahead, Jane. You can see what comes out.
Oh.
So heat that up, put it in really hot, and put that in really hot in the morning and eat it by lunch. Don't let this one just stay warm.
But Diane managed to find one so big and juicy it didn't fit all the way into the thermos container.
Now, another one is to make your sandwiches. I've just taken a roll, and one of the problems that I have when I go out camping is often that stuff falls out the sides of it.
Yes.
So I just took a great big roll like this, and you just take your finger, get one of those that's kind of soft, and scoop that out. Jane, if you'll help me put the filling in,
well, if you,
we'll go ahead and fill this up.
If you're eating, too, with gloves on because you're outside from skiing or whatever, you can't lick your fingers if you make a mess.
That's
so I
right.
can see why.
So we'll just scoop this in. There we go. Fill that whole thing up, and that way you won't have any problem when you're, see, we'll just pop on the front of it, put that into your bag, and when you go to eat that, nothing falls out.
Willard said it's 2 degrees above zero outside now, so who's going to be the volunteer to go out eat it?
On this winter picnic. This one is fabulous. If you're going on one that's really a lightweight one, this one is perfect. This is fruit leather, and I've made it right inside of my oven. I have a dehydrator. If you don't have a dehydrator, you can do it in your oven rack.
Stop. You said fruit leather.
Right. What I did is puree, and let me just show you. I have some apricots here. I just took canned apricots, and I blended them up. I drained as much juice as I could. Then I put saran wrap on the back of a cookie sheet. This works really well, and then pour this. You can see how we'll pour this on. You want it to be about a 1/4 of an inch thick. And then put this on the very top rack of your oven and leave the oven at about 140. You don't want it any higher, it'll do it too fast. Okay? Then I'm just going to tap it a couple of times, try and get it out here on the corners. As you can see there, we have the fruit leather to go on, and I have the apricot here. When it's all dried, you can see what it looks like. And then I just wish I could let everybody have a taste of this, because as you're out skiing, you just pop this out of your pocket and pull off a piece, and as you can see, it's just really... How do you like it, Jane?
It's like a strawberry beef jerky.
Yeah, it is really good. And then the last one, we used to do this as a family when we would go skiing. We would put a box with newspapers lining the box. Newspapers are one of the very best insulations you can get. So when you open this up, you can see we've got newspapers in here.
So far, it doesn't look like it tastes real good.
And out comes...
Surprise.
A hot chili. But if you'll insulate it in that box, I call this a hot box, you can take your chili out, whatever you decide to put in here, if you've got a stew or whatever, when you come off the ski slope back to your car, you've got a hot meal here, Jane.
It's piping hot. Well, you can have the chili. I'm stuck with this fruit leather, which I am stuck with because it sticks in your teeth. But it's so sweet.
It is fun to take with you skiing.
Thank you, Dian Thomas. Another good idea.
Now we're going to go outside with Regis and Dian Thomas and camping.
Dian Thomas is our camping expert here. She's written a number of books on the joys of camping, and it's always good to have her on our show. Thank you, Dian, for coming. We're going to give you a little backyard demonstration today of what you can do in your own backyard without going in the car and burning up all that gas. So we have our little hibachi over here.
Yeah, this is just made out of a wheelbarrow, Regis. And some dirt in the bottom of it.
Yep.
That'll keep it from melting out the bottom of your wheelbarrow. And then I covered it with foil so that you can blow your blower down on it and get your... In fact,
is that how you got your coals so even?
Yeah, I did. Let
Boy,
me
they're
just show
terrific
you.
looking coals.
Just take your hair blower and turn that on, and that will fire up your charcoal briquettes.
And try to do that out in the woods sometime, you know what I mean? You got to be in your own backyard with a long extension cord to do that. We're going to cook some fish today, right, Diane?
Yeah, and for the ice chest, I've just used a laundry basket, so you can use things around the house and you don't need to go buy expensive equipment. Regis, I want you to help me. You're such a good camper. We're going to cook fish inside of a paper bag.
First of all, I don't like the idea of putting the fish in the same bucket with the watermelon and your soda, you know? But all right, so you did it. So
well, we could have placed it into a plastic bag.
yeah, maybe you should have, huh?
Okay.
Next time.
Anyway, why don't you go ahead, Regis, and...
What do you want me to do?
I want you to wrap that up in the paper bag. I'm going to put a little bit of oil on the fish.
Now, what you have here are a series of, the whole thing?
Yeah.
Or
We'll just take one brown
Just
paper
one.
sack
Brown paper
and wrap
sack.
this up.
Yeah.
You can cook your fish inside of the paper bag.
You don't put any
And then-
spices or anything like that, huh?
Oh, you can season. I've already salt and peppered it. So
Keep
it's
this bag heavily watered.
Then place it into the newspaper.
Oh, in the
Regis.
newspaper.
Yeah. This will steam your fish. You just roll this up.
Can you
Just
put
keep
more than
rolling
one
that.
in each?
No, you just do one. And then sometimes I'll just put this on the coals if this is wet enough. If not,
And then in this, huh?
we can just wrap it in foil, and this will steam the fish, so it's just super. One thing that's so fun about this, Regis, is when you take it out and you peel back the paper, the brown bag will stick to the skin, and it will just skin your fish. So there's your fish all
Is
skinned.
that
that's
right?
tremendous.
Will we
After
be
you
able to
take
see
this
that
out.
here?
Maybe at the end we should. Why don't you put that on coals? It'll take
All right.
about,
Just like this?
even right on the front of the
Right
coals.
on the
We'll place
coals.
it right on the coals, yeah.
Okay, fine.
Now, one
Now
of
you
the...
have- I'm sorry,
Oh,
go ahead.
go ahead. One of the problems you have when you go outside is starting your fire. Why don't you hold that, Regis? I've taken lint from your dryer and just placed in each one of these pockets. This is a cardboard egg carton.
Will lint from
In,
your
uh,
navel?
I don't know about that,
Tony,
Regis.
Do you have problems that
Do
way?
you
Regis?
have-
I no, I don't think so.
Then wax is poured down each one of these cups. I'm sorry. When you get all through, you let the wax set up, and this is what it looks like. So if you're out on a camping trip and you're having trouble getting that fire started, just break off a cup like that and place it underneath your wood and light that.
And that'll do it?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Or you can put wax along the cardboard like this, and if you want to put lint in there, and pile your charcoal briquettes on top of that, you can light the whole thing, and that'll light your charcoal briquettes instead of using your lighter fluid.
Terrific.
That's a
Great
great
tip.
idea.
So,
Very good.
why don't we come
Okay.
on down here and I'll
All
tell
right.
you
This looks like
a few
fun.
more. This is one I have can hardly wait to show you. This is a man's lunch pail, and it seems to me like every time you go out in the backyard, I always forget something. I was running back and forth and back
Yeah.
and forth. So just make you a kit for your backyard in a lunch pail, and in the thermos, that's all of your barbecue sauce inside of the thermos.
Terrific.
Yeah.
And then here's
your
all of the
spices.
spices, and here's all of the utensils that you need. You just put that back in the backyard, and can you guess what we're using for our buffet here, Regis?
An ironing board.
Right, so
See,
just
these
take
are
your
all of the
ironing-
things that you have at home that you'll never
That's
have on
right.
the road with you.
Also, if you're using your ironing board, maybe you can look down. We place sandbags on there to hold it up so it'll be firm and really, really steady.
What
Now,
are you making here? Another
I have
pizza
a-
for Tony?
Yeah, I'm very excited about this.
first I
This
want
is
to show you my potato salad here. I've taken just a can, and so it would look like nice china and fancy it up a little bit. I covered it with contact paper, and you can use these for bowls. Then place a plastic bag in them and just pull the bag around the outside, and you put your food inside of that.
Uh-huh.
It's all reusable. Why not?
Now, one of the problems is the flies keep flying by,
Right?
and you have a hard time getting them off.
Yeah.
Take an embroidery hoop and cover that with handy wrap or saran wrap, and put the embroidery hoop on there, and then put that on top of it, and that'll keep the flies off.
Now,
and
how
you
did you
still
get
see
that
your
to stay
food.
on there?
I just opened this up and put the wrap over it like this,
Terrific.
and then put the hoop on it. And you can get embroidery hoops, just huge ones. And I've never showed this. Is just a brand new idea.
It's
So
a great idea.
put that on top, and then the flies don't get in, and people can come by. Yeah, help to put the lid back
Put it
on
back.
and all
That's
stays.
I don't want to
That's
go into the
terrific.
woods with anybody but Dian Thomas.
That's right.
We're going to come back and take your phone calls next, too, so stay with us.